Conkos. This is Alvez News. I'm Haley Kronk, and today we'll be discussing evolution. We have special guests Dr. Gilliland, Dr. Denise, and Dr. Pereira joining us today and giving their opinion on the subject. So, Dr. Brianna Gilliland.
Please, call me Bree.
Okay, Bree, can you tell us what exactly is molecular biology?
Well, it is a branch of biology that deals with the molecular basis of biological activity. Basically, I deal with how molecules are similar to other living things. Without my help, you wouldn't know the animals that seem to have the most differences are actually closely related.
Can you give us an example?
Turns out that a wolf and a dolphin are more closely related to each other than a dolphin and a shark. Examples like this show how far we've come in evolution.
And how exactly does this happen?
Darn it. Well, as time passes by, animals have to adapt, so their DNA changes to be able to better survive in these new habitats. Molecular biology doesn't make it happen, we observe why or how it happens.
So, can you give us a few more examples?
Well, there are plenty. Turns out, a raccoon is more closely related to a bear than a possum is. Also, humans and sea squirts are actually pretty closely related.
Let's take a look at some extraordinary photographs taken of these peculiar evolution changes. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and we hope to see you again.
I hope to see you again too.
And next we have Dr. Doolittle?
It's Miss Doolittle, thank you.
Are you sure you're not married?
I think I'm pretty sure. What is this? I knew I should have spent that weekend in Vegas.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, the line for the divorce papers is pretty long. Anyway, so Kimberly, tell us your expertise.
I'm a physiologist.
What is physiology?
I need a computer.
Servant! Servant! Bring, I need a computer! Oh, yes! Oh, this is live.
Sorry. I got it. Okay, physiology is the science of the function of living systems.
So, can you give us an example of your profession?
Of course I can. In plant-eating vertebrates, the appendix is much larger, and its main function is to help it digest its herbivorous diet. However, in humans, we don't really need it that much. And as Alfred Sherwood Romer said, it would appear to be a financial support of surgical profession.
I see. Well, can you give us another example?
Of course, actually, you have an example in your mouth right now. The wisdom teeth in humans have become vestigial. A few thousand years ago, a common 18-year-old man would have lost several, if not most of his teeth. However, now that humans, hopefully, brush twice a day, we can have all of our teeth for the rest of our life. So there's no need for them.
I see. And I heard something of the tailbone having to do with this.
Yes.
Can you inform us on that a little bit?
Of course. You got a doctor's degree after all, I should know.
Yes, well maybe you shouldn't have one.
Pardon?
Nothing.
Okay. Well, the human tailbone, actually. As our ancestors were learning to walk upright, their tail became useless. It has been suggested that the human tailbone helps anchor minor muscles. So that's about it, really.
Oh. Well, I see. Well, thank you for your unusual first few comments and the rest. It was a pleasure having you here. Maybe we'll have you back.
I'd love to come back!
Yes. All right. Well, good day.
Okay.
You can stop shaking my hand now.
Okay.
Please let go.
That was beautiful.
Now to introduce Dr. Jada Denise. So, Dr. Denise.
Oh, please call me Dr. Jada. Awesome, Jada.
So, Dr. Jada, it seems that evolution has something to do with anatomy. Could you elaborate on that?
Certainly. Anatomy is a branch of biology and medicine that specifically studies the structure of living things. Evolution is the process of things changing over time. Anatomy compares various animals, humans, and plants.
So, Dr. Jada, We know you are very aware of the religious controversy. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Absolutely. Various religions support the theory of evolution more than others. Buddhists lead in the national ethnic percentage rate for the acceptance of the evolution theory. 81% to be exact. The Jewish are a whopping 77%, and the Catholics are a 58% in acceptance. The Muslims, however, are below the national rate of 48. They're actually 45.
Very interesting. So it really depends on the individual themselves.
That's right.
So religion and evolution are a fundamental conflict, right?
Right. Most religions favor their own theories or beliefs or doctrines. However, a select group of people believe that the evolution theory is a major role in progression or transformation.
So can you give us some examples of how evolution has to do with the anatomy?
Sure. Birds, bats, and insects all have wings. It's tempting to say, but if you think about it, how closely are they really related? They actually have a common winged ancestor. However, if you were to actually analyze the data, you'd find something totally different. Oh, the wings of bats and birds are both derived from the forelimbs of a common, probably wingless ancestor. Both have wings with bone structures quite similar to the forelimbs of ancestral current tetrapods or four-legged animals. Such traits that are derived from a trait found in a common ancestor are called homologous traits. Structurally speaking, though, the wings of bats and birds have little in common with those of insects. Bird wings and insect wings are an analogous trait, or a trait that has developed independently in two groups of organisms from unrelated ancestral traits.
Wow, quite a mouthful, and very interesting though, and informative. I can't believe that bats and birds' wings are actually similar. So tell us about the vestigial features of the body.
Indeed, the vestigial features of the body are quite the topic. It seems that several animals, including pigs, cattle, deer, and dogs, have reduced non-functional digits, referred to as declaws.
Is that so? Wow. Could you maybe elaborate on that for our viewers?
No thanks.
Are you sure?
No, I'm good.
But we're live here.
Yeah, but I'm just not feeling this lighting, and the makeup, it's fading. It's just not good for me.
Could you just continue?
Okay, well, the foot of the pig has lost the digit number 1 completely. Digits 2 and 5 have been greatly reduced, and only digits 3 and 4 actually support the body.
Wow. Thanks for finally revealing that worthwhile information. Anything else?
Yes, people and apes have chests that are more broader than they are deep, with the shoulder blades flat in the back. This is because we, like apes, are descended from an ancestor who was able to suspend itself using its upper limbs.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Oh, no problem. But after the show, I need to speak to you about getting new chairs here. This is really uncomfortable. The lighting stinks. I mean, and it should be highlighting my facial features, not my wrinkles. The buffet table doesn't even have my flavor of yogurt. And the dressing room is just a table with a mirror. How am I supposed to make that talk?
Can we cut to commercial, please?
Dr. Haley Cronk couldn't join us in the studio today, so we'll be conversing over the phone. Dr. Haley Cronk?
Yes. Good afternoon. I just want to thank you for having me on the show, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to make it to the studio.
No problem. So can you inform us on the various controversies dealing with evolution?
Of course. Well, there are 3 major controversies. 1, that evolution has never been observed. 2, that there are no transitional fossils. And 3, that evolution is only a theory.
Can you elaborate on those?
Well, referring to the first controversy, biologists define evolution as a change in gene pool population over time. One example is that insects develop a resistance to pesticides every few years. At this rate of change, it is all that is needed to produce the diversity from one living organism. It is wrong to say evolution has never been observed. Evidence isn't limited to seeing something happen before your eyes. Evolution makes predictions about what we would expect to see in a fossil record, comparative anatomy, genetic sequences, geographical distribution of species, etc. And these types of predictions have been justified many times over.
And what of the second controversy? You being a paleontologist should have some things to say about this one.
Well, of course. To start with, a transitional fossil is a fossil that looks like it is from an organism between two lineages, meaning it has some characteristics of lineage A, some characteristics of lineage B. Transitional fossils can occur between species, orders, and so on and so forth. To say there are no transitional fossils is simply false. The misconception about the lack of transitional fossils is maintained in part by a general way of thinking about categories. When you think of a cat and mouse, you think of them as two totally different categories. In truth, categories are man-made and artificial. Nature is not chained to follow them, and it doesn't.
All right, so what of the third, saying evolution is only a theory and has never been proved?
First, we should clarify what evolution means. In simple words, it's a change over time. Most people, when they hear the word evolution, they think mainly that all creation came from a common ancestor, but that is only part of it. The theory of evolution not only says that life evolved, it also includes mutations, natural selection, and genetic drift. Lack of proof isn't a weakness either. On the contrary, claiming reliability for one's conclusions is a sign of arrogance. Nothing in the real world has ever been exactly proved or ever will be. In the real world, we must deal with levels of certainty based on observed evidence. The amount of evidence we have for something, the more certainty we refer to it. When there's enough evidence, we label the something a fact, even though it isn't 100% certain. The fact of certainty is based on an individual. One piece of evidence could be enough for one person, but another person could have 100 pieces of evidence and still not be satisfied. If you wish to challenge the theory of evolution, you must address the evidence. You have to show that evolution is either wrong or pointless. You have to show that the evidence is either wrong or pointless, or that it fits another theory better.
Well, that certainly has given me much to think about. I'm afraid we've run out of time, but thank you so much for clearing some of that cloudy information up for us.
No problem.